The lights of Proxima Station blinked like stars against the dark metal walls. In a quiet corner of the busy space station, a young alien girl sat alone. Her name was Lyra, and her skin shimmered with colors of blue and purple, like light dancing on crystal. She pulled her knees closer to her chest, trying to make herself smaller, as aliens of different species walked past her. None of them stopped to help. Some looked away quickly when they saw her, while others whispered to each other and hurried past. Lyra could feel their fear and dislike. Her people, the Luminians, could sense the emotions of others. Right now, those feelings hurt her more than the cold floor she sat on. Another Luminian causing trouble, a tall plant-like alien muttered as it walked by. Its green leaves rustled with disapproval. They should have never let them dock here. Lyra wanted to tell them she wasn't causing trouble. She wanted to explain that her family's ship had been taken away by station security, and in all the confusion, she had gotten separated from her parents. But her voice wouldn't work. She was too scared, too hungry, and too tired. Commander Ha-Jin stood at his security station, watching the young Luminian through the cameras. His dark uniform was neat and clean, but his forehead was wrinkled with worry. The station's rules were clear about unaccompanied minors, but this was different. This was a Lumian. "Sir," one of his officers said, "the other species are complaining. They say her presence is making them uncomfortable. The Verdant Collective has filed 3 complaints in the last hour alone." Ha-Jin rubbed his temples. The Verdant Collective, a group of plant-based species, always made things difficult when Luminians were involved. The old wars between their peoples had ended long ago, but the hate remained. "What about her parents?" Ha-Jin asked. Their ship was impounded for unpaid docking fees and expired travel permits. They were taken to processing 4 hours ago. The officer checked his tablet. But they never mentioned having a child with them. Ha-Jin's eyes widened. They never mentioned. Check the processing footage. Now, the security cameras showed Lyra's parents being led away by station security. They walked calmly, their crystal-like skin glowing with soft light. They never looked back. They never asked about their daughter. "They abandoned her," Ha-Jin said quietly. His hands tightened into fists. They abandoned their own child. The station's lights dimmed slightly as night cycle approached. Lyra's skin grew darker, trying to absorb more light. Her people needed light to live, just as humans needed air. She was getting weaker. A group of maintenance robots rolled past her, cleaning the floor. Their red sensors scanned her, noted she wasn't trash, and moved on. Even the machines ignored her. "We need to do something," Ha-Jin said to his team. "We can't just leave her there." "Sir, with respect, this isn't our problem," another officer said. "The Verdant Collective has already offered to handle the situation. They say they'll remove her from the station tomorrow." "Remove her?" Ha-Jin asked sharply. "What do you mean, remove her?" Before the officer could answer, an alert flashed on their screens. Someone had entered the restricted area where Lyra sat. Ha-Jin leaned forward, watching the cameras carefully. A human was walking toward the abandoned alien girl. Dr. Ji-Ho Park walked down the quiet corridor of Proxima Station, carrying his medical kit. His white lab coat swished softly as he moved. Other aliens stepped away from him as he passed, some making quiet sounds of fear. Ji-Ho was used to this. Many species were scared of humans because they could eat both plants and meat. He spotted Lyra, sitting in the corner, her crystal-like skin now a dull blue-gray color. Ji-Ho had studied enough alien biology to know this wasn't good. The young Luminian was sick. "Don't go near her," a plant-like alien called out. "Humans and Luminians don't mix. You're too dangerous." Ji-Ho ignored the warning. He had spent 10 years studying alien life forms, and he knew dangerous meant different things to different species. He walked closer to Lyra, then stopped a few steps away and sat down on the floor. "Hello," he said softly. "My name is Ji-ho. I'm a doctor. Would you like some help?" Lyra looked up slowly. Her eyes were like small moons, glowing faintly. She could sense Ji-ho's emotions, just as her people always could. But what she felt surprised her. There was no fear, no hate, only worry and a desire to help. Lyra's voice was weak. "I need light." Ji-ho nodded and reached into his medical kit. He pulled out a small device and turned it on. A warm, bright light filled the corner. Lyra's skin began to sparkle again, changing from gray to a brighter blue. "Ji-ho!" A woman's voice called out. Dr. Yoon-mi was running toward them, carrying more supplies. "I brought the emergency rations and the portable heat lamp." Yoon-mi's long black hair was messy from running, and her face was red from the exercise. She didn't care how she looked. She only cared about helping. "The security chief called me," Yoon-mi explained as she set up the heat lamp. "He said you might need help." Commander Ha-jin watched through the cameras as the two human doctors helped Lyra. His tight expression began to relax. Perhaps this could work out after all. Ji-ho offered Lyra a special food bar designed for light-eating species. "Here, this should help you feel stronger." Lyra took the bar carefully. She had been taught that humans were dangerous meat-eaters who couldn't understand other species. But these humans were being kinder to her than anyone else on the station. "Why are you helping me?" she asked between small bites of the food bar. "Everyone says humans are dangerous." Yoon-mi smiled as she adjusted the heat lamp. "Being able to eat meat doesn't make us dangerous. It makes us adaptable. We can understand both meat-eaters and plant-eaters because we're both." More importantly, Ji-ho added, "Helping others who need it is what humans do. It doesn't matter if they're human or alien." As they talked, a small crowd gathered at the end of the corridor. Aliens of different species watched in surprise as the humans cared for the Luminian child. Some started to whisper that maybe they had been wrong about humans. "Your parents," Ji-ho said gently. "Can you tell us what happened to them?" Lyra's skin darkened with sadness. "They told me to wait here. They said they would come back. But I heard them tell the security officers they had no child. They left me because I'm different. Because I can't process light properly, like other Luminians." Ji-ho and Yoon-mi shared a look. They had both seen cases of families abandoning children who were different. It happened on Earth too, long ago. "Well," Yoon-mi said firmly, "you're not alone anymore. We'll help you." The meeting room on Proxima Station was full of angry voices. Station Director Sun-hee stood at the front, her gray uniform neat and pressed. She looked calm, but her hands were tight behind her back as she faced the alien representatives. "The humans cannot keep the Luminian child," said the leader of the Verdant Collective. His leaf-covered body shook with anger. "They are meat-eaters, predators. They will harm her." Sun-hee took a deep breath. Dr. Ji-ho and Dr. Yoon-mi are trained medical professionals. They have already helped Lyra recover her strength. No other species on this station even tried to help her. The room erupted with shouts again. Different alien species stood up, their voices mixing together. Some waved their tentacles or leaves in the air. Others clicked their beaks or flashed warning colors. Humans are too primitive. They still eat dead flesh. The child needs to be with plant-eaters like us. In the medical bay, Lyra sat on a bed while Dr. Ji-ho checked her light levels. Her skin was brighter now, showing healthy purples and blues. Dr. Yoon-mi worked nearby, mixing special nutrients into Lyra's water. "Your light absorption is much better," Ji-ho said with a smile. "How do you feel?" "Stronger," Lyra answered. She looked around the human medical bay. Unlike the cold, metal walls in the rest of the station, the humans had put up warm-colored panels and soft lights. They had even brought in some plants to make it feel more welcoming. Suddenly, Commander Jin rushed into the medical bay. The Verdant Collective is demanding we hand over Lyra. They're very angry. Lyra's skin turned pale with fear. She grabbed Jihu's hand. Please don't let them take me. The Verdants. They hate my people. They only want me to make themselves look good. Nobody is taking you anywhere, Yuan Mi said firmly. She stood in front of Lyra's bed like a shield. Back in the meeting room, Sun He was losing her patience. Let me show you something, she said, pressing a button on the wall screen. The screen lit up with security footage from the past day. It showed all the aliens walking past Lyra when she was alone and sick. Then it showed the humans helping her, giving her food and light, and taking care of her. You all claim humans are dangerous, Sun He said quietly. But who actually helped this child? Who showed real care? Not the species who call themselves peaceful. Not the ones who claim to be more advanced. It was us. The so-called primitive humans. The room got very quiet. Some of the aliens looked down at the floor, embarrassed. There's more, Sun He continued. She showed new medical scans on the screen. Dr. Jiho discovered why Lyra was abandoned. She has a rare condition that makes it hard for her to process light, like other Luminians. Her own people threw her away because she was different. We humans have a long history of helping children with special needs. We know how to care for those who are different. A small alien with feathers stood up. But your species eats meat. How can you understand a light-eating being? Sun He smiled. Because humans can eat both plants and meat, we understand both sides. We're not stuck in one way of thinking. That's not primitive. That's advanced. The aliens started whispering among themselves. Some nodded slowly, beginning to understand. The child stays with us, Sun He said firmly. Unless anyone here wants to explain to the Galactic Council why they think eating only plants makes them better parents than people who actually care. No one argued after that. But outside the meeting room, trouble was coming. The Verdant Collective wasn't done yet. Dr. Jiho sat in his lab late at night, studying Lyra's medical scans. The blue light from his computer screen lit up his tired face. Something about Lyra's condition wasn't making sense, and he needed to figure it out. You should get some sleep, Dr. Yo, Jin said as she walked into the lab. She was the station's best medical researcher, known for solving difficult alien health problems. Her short gray hair and kind eyes made many aliens feel safe around her, even though she was human. Look at this, Jiho said, pointing to the screen. Lyra's light absorption patterns are different from normal Luminian patterns. But they're not wrong. They're just different. Yo Jin looked at the scans carefully. Then her eyes got wide. Jiho, she's not failing to absorb light. She's absorbing different wavelengths. No wonder her people didn't understand. In the medical bay, Lyra was teaching Dr. Yuan Mi about her people's customs. She showed her how Luminians could change their skin colors to share feelings. Happy colors were bright blue and purple. Sad colors were gray and dark blue. Can you feel what I'm feeling right now? Yuan Mi asked. Lyra nodded. You feel warm inside, like sunlight. That's how humans feel when they care about someone. Suddenly, Jiho and Yuo Jin rushed into the room. They looked excited. We figured it out, Jiho said. Lyra, you're not sick. Your body just needs different kinds of light than other Luminians. You're special. Yojin went to a control panel on the wall. Watch this, she said. She changed the lights in the room to a new color pattern. Lyra's skin began to glow brighter than ever before. I feel so strong, Lyra said in surprise. How did you know? Humans understand being different, Yojin explained. Long ago on Earth, people thought everyone had to be the same. But then we learned that different isn't wrong. It's just different. Jiho picked up his tablet and showed Lyra the scans. See these patterns? Other Luminians absorb blue and green light. But your body wants red and yellow light. That's why you felt sick under normal Luminian lights. You and me smiled. We can build you a special room with exactly the right kind of light for your body. Lyra's skin glowed with happy colors. For the first time in her life, someone understood what she needed. The humans didn't try to fix her or make her normal. They helped her be herself. In another part of the station, Director Sun Hee met with Commander Hei Jin. They were planning to turn one of the empty rooms into a special living space for Lyra. The engineering team says they can install the new lights tomorrow, Ha Jin said. But the Verdant Collective is still causing problems. They're telling everyone that humans are changing Lyra's natural state. Sun Hee shook her head. They don't understand. We're not changing her. We're helping her be who she really is. Like Earth's old saying, Hei Jin said with a smile. A flower that grows differently is still a flower. As they talked, Lyra sat in the medical bay, watching Earth videos with Ji-ho and you and me. She saw pictures of Earth's many different animals and plants. She learned how humans protected endangered species and helped sick animals. Humans eat meat, Lyra said thoughtfully, but you also save lives. You protect things that are different. You're not what the others say you are. That's right, Yumi said. Being human means understanding that life comes in many forms. And every form deserves care and respect. But outside the medical bay, angry voices were getting louder. The Verdant Collective was planning something. And it wasn't going to be peaceful. The day started with loud shouting outside the human medical bay. A group of Verdant Collective members stood there, their leaf-covered bodies blocking the doorway. Their leader, tall and dark green, pointed at Dr. Ji-ho. "Give us the Luminian child," he demanded. "We have permission from the Galactic Council to take her." Ji-ho stood in the doorway, calm but firm. "Show me the permission document." The Verdant leader held up a screen with official-looking writing. But Dr. Yuo Jin, who had just arrived, noticed something wrong. "This document is fake," she said. "The council's seal is the wrong color." Suddenly, all the lights in the station went out. In the darkness, Lyra's scared voice came from inside the medical bay. "Ji-ho, you and me? The emergency lights aren't working." The Verdant Collective members started pushing forward in the confusion. But they hadn't counted on one thing: humans could see better in the dark than most alien species. Years of evolution had given humans good night vision. "You and me, stay with Lyra," Ji-ho called out. "Yo-jin, get to the backup generator." Commander Ha-jin's voice came through the emergency communicators, warning. "Station-wide power failure. All species, please remain calm and stay where you are." But staying calm was hard. All around the station, different alien species panicked in the darkness. Some glowed with fear. Others released warning smells. Many tried to run, bumping into walls and each other. The humans were different. They moved carefully through the dark corridors, helping scared aliens find safe places to wait. They used their physical memory of the station's layout to navigate without light. In the medical bay, Lyra's condition was getting worse. Her skin was turning gray. Without proper light, her body couldn't make energy. "Hold on, Lyra," Yumi said, holding the alien girl's hand. "We have emergency light packs in storage, but they're in the lower level." Ji-ho's voice crackled through you and me's communicator. "The Verdants are trying to break into the medical bay through the back door." They planned this power failure. Director Sun Hee organized the human response team. "All human crew members, use your emergency training. Help any aliens in distress." Engineering team, get to the main power core. Medical team, check all life support systems. Ji-ho and Yuo Jin fought their way through the dark corridors. They had to get to the emergency supplies. Other aliens pressed against the walls, too scared to move. Some called out for help in shaking voices. Why aren't you running away? A floating gas-based alien asked as Jiho helped it find a safe corner. Humans don't run from danger when others need help, Jiho answered, already moving toward the next cry for help. In the medical bay, you and me heard banging on the back door. The Verdants were trying to break in. She stood in front of Lyra's bed, ready to protect her. Why are they doing this? Lyra asked weakly. Some people fear what they don't understand, Yuma explained. And fear makes them do bad things. The door started to crack. Lyra's breathing got weaker. Without her special lights, she was fading fast. Then, through the darkness, came the sound of running feet. Human feet. Jiho and Yo-Jin were coming back. But would they make it in time? The Verdants almost had the door open. Lyra's skin was almost completely gray. And somewhere in the station, someone was still messing with the power systems, making sure the lights stayed off. It was a race against time, and the humans were running straight into danger to save one alien child. Jiho and Yo-Jin ran through the dark corridors, carrying emergency light packs. Their footsteps echoed against the metal floors. Behind them, Commander Ha-Jin and 2 security officers followed with portable power units. The doors almost broken. Yunmi's voice crackled through their communicators. Hurry! In the medical bay, Lyra could barely stay awake. Her crystal-like skin had turned almost completely gray. Yumi stood guard, holding a medical scanner like a weapon. Suddenly, the back door burst open. 3 Verdant Collective members rushed in, their leaf-covered bodies glowing faintly in the dark. Step aside, human, their leader said. We're taking the child for her own good. No. Yunmi's voice was firm. You caused this power failure. You're trying to kill her. The Verdant leader laughed. Kill her? We're saving her from you meat-eaters. But then Jiho's voice cut through the darkness. You're wrong. Look at her readings. Everyone turned. Jiho, Yo-Jin, and Hei-Jin stood in the doorway. They quickly set up the emergency lights and power units. Under the new lights, Lyra's skin slowly began to brighten. Director Sun Hee arrived with more security officers. She held up a datapad. We found this in the power control room. Someone shut down the power on purpose. They used Verdant collective access codes. The Verdant leader's leaves turned dark with shock. That's impossible. We would never. Oh, really? Hei-Jin pressed a button on his communicator. Security footage appeared on the wall screen. It showed Verdant members secretly entering the power control room before the blackout. You knew Lyra needed special light to live, Yo-Jin said angrily. You knew turning off the power would hurt her, but you did it anyway. More footage played on the screen. It showed what happened during the power failure. Alien species running away in panic. But the humans were running toward danger. They were helping others, carrying scared aliens to safety, checking life support systems, working to restore power. Look at that. Sun Hee pointed to the screen. You call us primitive because we eat meat. But when there's real danger, who runs away? And who stays to help? Lyra sat up slowly, her strength returning under the emergency lights. I can feel everyone's emotions, she said. The Verdants feel shame now. They know what they did was wrong. Station security officers moved to arrest the Verdant members. But there was one last surprise. Wait. A young Verdant stepped forward. His leaves trembled. I have to tell the truth. Our leaders, they didn't just want to save Lyra. They wanted to make humans look bad. They thought if Lyra died during a power failure, everyone would blame the humans. The room went quiet. Even the arrested Verdants stopped struggling. You were willing to let a child die, just to make humans look bad? Yunmi's voice was filled with disbelief. We've recorded everything, Hei-Jin said. The Galactic Council will hear about this. About how the peaceful plant eaters tried to harm a child while the dangerous humans risked their lives to save her. Jiho checked Lyra's readings again. She's stable now. The emergency lights are working perfectly. Yo, Jin smiled. And look at the station's security footage. While the Verdants were busy with their plan, human crew members helped over 300 scared aliens find safety in the dark. Actions speak louder than words. The truth was finally clear. The species that claimed to be the most peaceful had acted with the most hate. And the species that everyone feared had shown the most courage and compassion. 1 week after the power failure, Proxima Station was very different. The Verdant collective members who caused the crisis were gone, taken away by Galactic Council security. But more importantly, the other alien species looked at humans differently now. In the station's main hall, Director Sun Hee stood before a large crowd. Aliens of all species gathered to hear her speak. This time, no one moved away from the humans in fear. The Galactic Council has reviewed our evidence, Sun Hee announced. They have seen how humans acted during the crisis. Because of this, they are making Proxima Station the first official human-alien cooperation center. The crowd cheered. Even species that used to fear humans were clapping or glowing with happiness. In the medical bay, Lyra sat on her bed, while Dr. Jiho checked her health readings one last time. Her skin sparkled with bright, happy colors. "Your body is perfectly healthy now," Jiho said with a smile. "The new light system works even better than we hoped." Dr. Yoon Mi walked in, followed by Dr. Yo Jin. They were carrying a small cake made special for Luminian biology. "What's this for?" Lyra asked. "We got a message," Yoon Mi said softly. "Your parents' ship is returning to the station." Lyra's skin turned gray with fear. They left me. They didn't want me." "That's right," a new voice said. Everyone turned to see Commander Hajin in the doorway. "And that's why the Galactic Council made a special decision. Lyra, would you like to stay here? With us?" Lyra's eyes grew wide. "Stay? Here?" "As a legal resident of the human section," Hajin explained. "Dr. Jiho and Dr. Yoon Mi have asked to be your official guardians. Dr. Yo Jin will continue to be your medical supervisor." "You want to be my family?" Lyra's voice shook with emotion. "We already are your family," Jiho said warmly. "If you want us to be." Lyra's skin burst into the brightest colors they had ever seen. She jumped up and hugged each of her new human family members. Later that day, Lyra's birth parents arrived at the station. They looked surprised to see their daughter healthy and happy, surrounded by humans. "We came to take her home," Lyra's birth mother said stiffly. "I am home," Lyra answered. Her voice was strong and clear. "These humans understand me better than you ever did. They helped me when you abandoned me. They're my family now." Lyra's birth parents looked shocked, but Director Sun Hee stepped forward. "Your daughter is now under human protection," she explained. "But she has taught us much about Luminian culture. We would like to suggest something. Let her be a bridge between our peoples." And so, a new chapter began. Lyra became the first Luminian to live officially with humans. Other aliens started visiting the human section of the station, learning that humans weren't the primitive monsters they had feared. One evening, Lyra sat with her new family, watching the stars through the station's window. Jiho and Yuan Mi were teaching her about Earth's animals. Yo Jin was planning new medical research based on what they had learned about Luminian biology. "You know what I learned about humans?" Lyra said thoughtfully. "Everyone thinks you're dangerous because you can eat anything. But that's what makes you special. You understand all kinds of life. You don't judge by what someone eats or how they look. That's because humans know something important," Yuan Mi said, hugging Lyra. "Real family isn't about being the same. It's about loving and accepting our differences." Outside the window, the stars twinkled. Somewhere out there, other aliens were still scared of humans. But on Proxima Station, a new understanding had begun. And it all started because humans chose to help one abandoned alien girl.